Arbor Radio and Spring Arbor University, General Manager and Sales Manager at 106.9 Home.fm and 89.3 the Arbor Radio, Tom Davis. Hi, Tom.
Hey, Bart, how are you doing?
I'm good. Good to see you again.
Good to see you. And again, congratulations on the Faith Small Award. Well deserved.
Well, thanks so much. And it was great to see you Thursday night. Tom was there with a lot of your students. It was a spotlight at the evening at the Arbor on the communications program. And I say program, but it's amazing. There must be 30 plus different programs in the communications area.
Absolutely. We have audio, we have video, film making. It has expanded over the years. Since I was a student back then, it was the thing to be on. It was radio, and then with some video, but now it's kind of flipped around. A lot more video is because of Dory Shelby being the dean of the department and really pushing to expand it over these past 30 years. Actually, she's been there for 30 years.
It's amazing. Yeah. So when I first met Dory, actually I knew her when she was newscaster at Channel 10, but it was a very small program, and I was shocked at how much it's expanded, and it really is a magnet, attracting students from all over. They're specializing in some area of communications.
Absolutely, and a lot of great speakers that night, and really talking about the importance of communications and the media. I mean, you can't go anywhere these days without having media.
Well, you look at the lineup of companies that employ Spring Arbor graduates, and in addition to JTV, it's pretty much every TV station in Michigan, plus agencies like Campbell Ewald, places in Grand Rapids, Oklahoma. We've got lots of other colleges, Olympic Broadcasting Services. The list goes on and on and on. So it's pretty significant, the impact the school has in the workplace.
Absolutely. I mean, it's amazing that, like you talk about, I mean, you can't go anywhere in Jackson County alone without hitting someone from Spring Arbor University. I came back 8 years ago, I thought, okay, well, how many Spring Arbor grads would have stayed here? And there's so many in this area, including myself, of course.
Yeah, and you're a prime example, and so many of the Spring Arbor faculty and staff are products of Spring Arbor themselves. One of the people we met on Thursday night, he's a student in television and film, and he wants to be a play-by-play sports announcer. And we had time to visit, and I asked him his name, and it's Murphy McCool. And I thought, if you're applying anywhere to be a play-by-play announcer, all you have to do is put your name and your phone number on a sheet of paper. There's your resume, and you'll get hired.
When I first saw his name, he applied to work in the radio station. We had a little application. I thought, really, is this his real name, or is his radio name? Because I thought, you can't make that up. That's so cool. But when I met him, like, that's his real name. I looked at his records, that's his real name. So he has to be in radio.
I know. I quizzed him on the same thing because I couldn't believe it, and it's his real name. You're right. I think he'll be ending up somewhere on the air, and with that name, he'll be remembered. But I think the name, and he seems like he's got some talent. He interviewed me as part of what they were doing. So good luck, Murphy McCool. He's got 2 more years, I think.
He does.
Yeah.
Yep.
So one of the things that has impressed me is how you've grown the radio program at Spring Arbor, and how you have made it so that you're serving the students on a really individual, one-on-one basis. And today we wanted to talk to you about one student that you made some special provisions for. Tell us about your new adaptive studio and how it came about.
Well, Kaylee came to Spring Arbor on a tour when I first met her, and I noticed the disability she had. She was born without any arms, but she wanted to come to Spring Arbor to study communications and audio and radio. I thought, boy, if she does come to Spring Arbor, I'm gonna have a challenge on my hands. And sure enough, next year she was there. I thought, okay, now the work has to be done to figure out how we can do this, because I want her to have the same experience as any other Spring Arbor student has that's going through the program. But she has this disability, again, with no arms. It's kind of a challenge in a radio studio. I even brought her in. I said, well, how much can you reach? Well, her chair went all the way up and she only reached halfway to the soundboard. Okay, well, there's got to be a way to make this happen. So doing some research and talking to a donor, that we were able to redesign and a new studio that was based around her disability. And it is, we call it adaptive studio because we're adapting to what the challenges is for her. And not only for her, but future students coming up.
Well, what amazed me is that you went to incredible amount of expense and trouble, really, for just one student. And this is just one student, not, as you mentioned, it's future students.
Right.
But this is for one person to be able to realize her dream. She told you that she, for a career, would like to be a voice artist, a voice actor.
Absolutely.
And that's her gift. And I've seen her sing. She's incredibly talented. She's got a great voice.
Oh, yeah. Her personality is so great. Again, when I first met her, I thought she'd be great on the radio. You know, it would be, it'd be wonderful. Her personality. We already had her on some commercial stuff, but I realized that I could bring her in a studio and record her, but I want her to learn how to do it herself, to be independent. And so I knew that it's something about, I'm like, you know what? I have to do this. I have to figure this out. I mean, it's 2025. I mean, there's technology out there. And sure enough, this is fairly new technology. It's all state of the art. It's touchscreen. It is, it works with our current system, and everything adjusts to her. And it's just, it's amazing. And one of the first things she said to me when she first went in the first time, she said, thank you so much for doing this. I knew that, I didn't need a thanks, but that makes it all. Didn't before is why I did that.
Well, I know you have students with various abilities and have for many years at Spring Arbor. And when I first saw this student and she was performing in a choir, I wondered about what kinds of accommodations had to be made to change the campus and the facilities. And it turns out not much. You were pretty much, you've had a lot of students that have been in wheelchairs or had other different abilities that the campus had been built for every student.
Yes, and she's very unique in her disability, and not many students, I mean, they have different forms and different levels of disability, but that was the first time working with someone would have this type of disability, and she does more with her feet than I can do with my hands. It's kind of scary. She uses an iPhone and everything, text, and she plays video games better than I can. So, but when you're born with it, she doesn't know any difference. But that doesn't stop her. I didn't want having a studio stopping her going for her dreams.
Besides you and the welcoming that you provided as a faculty member, I've noticed her interaction with students at events on campus, and it's clear that she's been embraced, and there are people that are with her all throughout the day, and that you probably and maybe not see. You wouldn't see it like in a middle school because I'm sure there'd be so many more challenges, but the level of maturity that you have on campus is different, but it's also, you sense that it's a much more welcoming and supportive environment for somebody with what I would say, a major disability.
Absolutely. I mean, I have to give it to our students on campus. I mean, I've never heard anything negative about anybody as far as, especially with someone with a disability. Kaylee's really loved. I mean, again, it starts with her personality. I mean, if you meet her and she talks to you, she's got a sense of humor, and you just want to embrace her, you know, and so that's going to get her a long ways in the future. And again, with the studio, I wanted to give her the technical way of doing it. So,
and best wishes to you and your education. I'm sure we'll be hearing about you long after you've graduated from Spring Arbor, and you could be, I'm sure, a great singer or voice actor that we'll be hearing about in the future. So you've got a few facilities for students. You've got, what, several radio stations?
yes, we do.
Tell us about what's available for students and also for the listening community.
Absolutely. We have the Arbor FM, which is a student-run station, but it's all professionally programmed, so it's not like it's a typical college station where you hear like, well, you know, this hour is country, this hour is rock, whatever it is. They're not playing radio, they're actually working in radio and impacting the community for Christ. And then we have Home.fm, which is people around the area love that, especially at Christmas time, where the music that makes you feel good. It's our professional station, but the students have the ability to move up from the student station to professional station when they have, you know, worked their way up. So a lot of opportunities going forward, and we're constantly expanding. We've got a brand new podcast studio as well. We renovated a studio because podcasting is huge these days, and we wanted to give the students a way to produce a podcast in a professional radio studio, not just in their bedroom, their closet, wherever they want to record it, which you can. But it's something to be said about being in a real studio with the microphones and the cameras. So we said, you know what, let's do that too. So we've been kind of expanding our opportunities for students. So.
And we talked a little bit about this on Thursday night, but if a student interested in radio went to University of Michigan or Michigan State University, there are campus stations, WKAR, WUOM, but you won't hear any students on those stations. No. It's not what they were originally designed for,
right.
Helping to educate students in the broadcasting career. It's at a school like Spring Arbor where you're actually able, as a student, to be literally hands-on and get a true education and be able to get into the field once they graduate. Absolutely.
And not only that, say if you don't want to go into radio, maybe you want to go in social media, marketing, we have areas for that as well. We have positions for that. So you don't have to be a communications major to work with us. So I always think that we're very inclusive as far as what we do there. So.
Yeah, and you've got several students here in the Jackson area who have gone through your program that are in various marketing, communications, broadcasting careers. In fact, several right on this block, on this very street.
Absolutely. I know, of course, you know Rachel Buchanan, of course. When I first came 8 years ago, she was a general manager, and she's since gone on to bigger and better things. But that's the beauty of communications, the fact that the skills you gain, you could go into different areas of life.
We talked a little bit about Harold Munn, whose name is on the broadcast facility at Spring Arbor University. He had an impact on me because when we first started JTV, I called Harold Munn, and his expertise in the field at the time was well known throughout the nation. And he was very supportive and very helpful and very kind. And he's continued that in, I think, how he's fostered the program in radio and communications at Spring Arbor. He's been very helpful in terms of, he's passed away, but his legacy lives on as he's provided money for the program.
Absolutely. I mean, he was such a powerful force back in the day, and even after he passed away, he and his wife passed away recently. That the family gave a large sum of money, specifically for not only university but for radio. And so I'm the caretaker, might say, of these funds, and part of that was for this adaptive studio. And their family saw the need. I reached out to them, and they said, absolutely, use part of that money, because that's what Harold would want to do. Because he was always on the cutting edge, on the latest technology of what was going on. And this really is the cutting edge of adaptive technology, what we've done. So he would have loved it. So I love the fact that I can use his funds for something he would have done himself.
Well, if you build it, they will come, no doubt will play out. in reality with this, I'm sure there are students throughout the country who may be able to take advantage of an adaptive studio with perhaps similar disabilities as Anna that will be joining your program. We've also got the summer. I'm curious what happens to the radio stations during the summer when most of the students are off campus.
Well, we have a few students that work with us in the summertime, but most of the time it's automated. It's the beauty of computers these days. Our professional station, Home.fm, still runs full-time 24/7. It doesn't change. We do a lot more events in the summertime. That's the big thing for radio, is in the summertime you get out, do your remotes and do the events, and that's when the weather is great. So
You've got several programs that you do on a regular basis. I know you're across the street at Lean Rocket Lab from time to time. What's your next scheduled location of that?
Well, we're kind of planning out things right now. We don't really have, it's like, stay tuned, we'll let you know.
And as not just general manager, but also general sales manager, Home.fm does sell sponsorships and advertising in the community. And how can people get involved if they want to jump on board?
Absolutely. It's very easy. If you just go to our website, of course it's home.fm, you just type that in. It's not any special website. Go in there, you can click my contact information as well. I think there's a link on there that says, find out more information about advertising. Even on the student station, you can buy sponsorships as well. It's a non-commercial station, so you have different forms of advertising. It's more of like, sponsor this hour and stuff like that.
Well, you've got students in broadcasting as a career, but also with, I think, specialties like worship arts or sports, and the campus provides a lot of opportunities in those areas as well that seem to dovetail really nice with radio curriculum.
Absolutely. We interconnect so many areas. We're working on bringing sports back on the Arbor. That was something back in the day. We brought back chapel services on the Arbor. So a lot of different areas, like you said, music. They're doing recordings of people wanting to record music. So of course that dovetails right into radio. We play music, and again, marketing and all these areas that just work so well together. And that's the beauty of our campus, being it small, but we're so interconnected.
So Murphy McCool, hang on. You just might be able to do play-by-play on the Arbor or Home.fm. Stay tuned. Thanks for coming in today, Tom, and thanks for all you guys are doing for the students in the community at Spring Arbor Radio.
Thanks, Bart.
The general manager and sales manager at 106.9 Home.fm and 89.3 the Arbor Radio, Tom Davis.